This episode of Finding Demo Surf Fishing is being brought to you by The Sinker Guy. Head on over to thesinkerguy.com. Take a look at everything that Chip's got going on in the Sinker Guy garage. Sinkers, in his name, he's got you covered. Definitely different sizes of Sputniks that you could possibly get your hands on. Yeah, he's got them in there. If you need some other stuff, some rigs, bait, tackle, yeah, he's got that in there too. But his sinkers is what he's definitely known for. Go on over, check it out, thesinkerguy.com. Get your order in today. Man, it is different. It's been a while, huh? How you been? How you doing? Hope it's going good wherever you are. The fishing's been good to you this summer, and you've just been out there learning new tricks, tips, and things. And things have just been perfect. Uh, I have been off air for I think coming up on 3 months. We took a bit of a break, and it was nice, man. It was needed too. This is the first year that I have taken more than 1 month consecutively off. And it's I wanted to share with you guys some of the stuff with it. So this episode isn't going to be tons of fishing tips, tricks, stuff like that. No, this is going to be me talking. And there's more to come with that as this year progresses and the continuing of the podcast. You're going to get more episodes out of me like this, where it's just me. I'm talking to you, whether it's about gear, tackle, products, stuff. There's going to be some new things. Along with it's going to be me just kind of chomping at the bit, I guess. I don't know, to running my mouth. There you go. I'm just going to be doing that. Gosh, it's so weird to say that without a guest here. So I kind of wanted to talk to you, and let's start into the real reason why I took a break. So my daughter is she's growing up. Oh gosh, and she went to summer camp this year. Her first year sleepaway camp, and she really wanted to go. So we were like, all right, let's make this happen. So she went up to the mountains in South Carolina, went to a place called Camp Chattooga, and had a great time. The funniest part about this whole thing is apparently I went there when I was a kid, and I didn't endorse it to her. I didn't mention anything to it. And in reality, the summer camp I went to consecutive years over and over again was up in Maine. And yeah, so I didn't have anything to say as far as guiding her. But she picked that camp, and sure enough, it looked exactly the same. So it was weird. I drove her up there, dropped her off at her camp, and saw it. And I was like, wow, I remember all of this. This is it was all coming flooding back. So it was nice, but it also gave me some other cool things to realize. Uh we don't get our time back. So it also makes me appreciate you listening to me run my mouth and talk to you about fishing and what's going on in my life with you. It really hit home that one day she's actually going to leave. She's going to go do her thing. She's going to be in my shoes. She can be an adult dropping her kid off somewhere. It's it's a weird thing to finally uh I guess accept. Is the best word. It really was. It was one of those hard ones to be like, holy crap, this is real, and this is how it's going to be. So it happened perfect timing while I was on this break because I wanted more time with my family. My current job has had me extremely busy. I am working on second shift, so I am into the evening time. So my timelines are kind of messed up. So I wanted to make sure that I was getting all the time I could with my family while I can, with everything I have going on. Also trying to run the podcast, try to get in some fishing, try to get some friend time. You guys, I mean, I'm nothing special here. You all deal the same thing. It's all time management, right? We're all trying to squeeze every ounce we can out of our time to knock out all the things we want to do with what we got. So I decided that the podcast was something that needed to be on hold. Um, Called all those sponsors and let them know, hey, look, I'm taking a break. I'm taking a time to me, my family, and my mental health. And they were great. I appreciate all of them. Yeah, they took it with a grain. It's like, yeah, dude, you do you. We're all good. Things are fine. We'll get back onto the game when we get back. So big thanks to Chip, the sinker guy, Matt with Ninja Tackle, the whole DS Custom Tackle team, and the Kids Can Fish Foundation. Really appreciate y'all just letting me not spread your name as much and do my thing on socials. Like, let me do my thing and enjoy myself. So, thank you for that. So, let's talk about that last part. So, the fun part was the family, and let's talk about the mental health part. Uh, I've brought it up a couple times. It's an important thing, and you can get in your feels about how you feel about it. And I respect your opinion, but I'm not you, you're not me, and we're all in different places. So I'm happy for you wherever you are and doing your thing. For me, I got real sick and tired of social media. We're gonna call a spade here. Let's go ahead and just call it what it is. I got sick of it, man. It open it up and it's something people trolling other people, friends. I got sick of seeing stuff inside our fishing industry, amongst the back, stuff behind the curtain y'all don't see. I got sick of seeing the for shit talking, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm guilty of it. I've shit talked several people, and a couple of them, they know it. Most of them know it because we're not friends anymore, or we're not talking, or we haven't talked in forever, whether it be whatever it is. But uh, I got pretty sick and tired of it. I really did. So, uh, unplugged, put all my notifications for socials off, basically put an away message on Messenger. A couple people could text me and message me if they wanted. They knew I'd answer eventually. I would spend 2, 3 days before I actually answered a message because in reality, I was over it. There was no super win really of social. It became such an unfun job that didn't pay anything. It was, what's the point? And we're not getting into politics here on the show. And no, I will never do that. I will say, however, this is, it's an election cycle. So the man, yeah, social is just as bad, if not worse, when I really started paying back attention. Everybody's got an opinion and something to say, and everybody's right and nobody's wrong. It's just like, man, what's the point in this? So went right back off again. I was like, I don't want to deal with it. Started watching reels and shorts on other things, maybe a couple videos here. And yeah, just really unplugged from it. So while I did that, I read a couple of books. It felt nice. Picked up some good ones that were like good brain food. Picked up a couple that were absolute crap. I really regret my time listening to those. I wish I could have that time back. But it was important. And while I was gone, yeah, I went fishing a couple times, and it reminded me of why I love it so much. Why it got me into doing this podcast. Why it made me get into the game of social media and sharing. And that was really because it is one of the greatest forms of therapy I think that you can have for free, because it's you in the water, you and the rod, you fighting the fish, whether you catch or not. It's just you out there. And that's nice. There's nothing to think about, besides casting and retrieving. There's no noise if you don't want it. I mean, if you want the noise, obviously you can make it happen in your head. But for me, when I'm out there on the water, whether I'm throwing, the 9 footer, the 8 footer, the 12 footer, whatever it is, if I'm doing lures, there's no thought with it. And there was another really great meme that was going around. Actually, it was a short of a clip from Kerry Washington's show. Gosh, I can't remember. She was Big Fixer. It was a really good show. But the guy was the head of one of the organizations, and he went on about fishing. Whether it's, did I do this too fast? Did I do that? It's his only, is it chance? And it was kind of funny because I remember that show well before I was getting to fishing, and as I am now. But it kind of hit home because it was right. I never know. You never know what's going to happen, and it was nice. So I really enjoyed getting out there fishing. For me, I got to go out with Justin Reed fishing a couple times, and it was nice to just go out and not have anything to worry about, talk about. It was just a time with a friend. Him and I were just fishing, enjoying, laughing, talking about our lives, talking about our families. and that was it. We weren't bullshitting about what product is what. We weren't collaborating on anything. We were just, that's actually how Justin and I normally are. We normally fish, we just talk, and we just enjoy ourselves and enjoy the company. And yeah, that's really it. If you ever see any of his behind the scenes footage, if he ever dropped it, you'd see him and I basically sitting there shooting the shit about something completely random, whether it's, new metal music we've been listening to, or what we're doing the following week, or some new foods or something crazy. We really don't talk about much else. We just talk. Yeah, we're just good friends like that. So that times of being out there with fishing, and wrap myself back into where I was. Sorry. Fishing has just been one of those things that's just nice to get away. You can just forget about all the BS that you're dealing with for a little bit and try to catch. And you can pick apart what you're doing. You can get mad at yourself. Am I reeling too fast for a bluefish? Oh, what am I targeting? Am I going after Spanish? Okay. Spanish like to hunt fast. I got to reel fast. Blues like to go a little bit. They're a little bit lower in the column. Let me slow it down a little. All of that plays a factor. So you can sit and think about that and enjoy yourself and just be like, that's a fun challenge. Cool. And then when you're done, go ahead and just get back to the car and head home and feel a little bit recharged. That's what it does for me. That's really what it did. So, with that one, let's also discuss into other therapeutic benefits of beach fishing. I mean, surf fishing, whatever you want, whether you're walking with a lure or sitting on set rigs. It's been proven the ocean it heals things. We need to be near water, and numerous studies, so they're out there. Science is, there's so many articles you can pull up talking about, hey, this therapeutic, and there's therapeutic for this, and science has proved. Okay, cool. Look into all those articles; they're great. But when people go on vacation, a lot of them go to the beach. Why? It's relaxing. Um, it's calming. It's something. There's something about the water that just makes it better. So for me, I think about the days where the waves are, 1 to 2 foot. They're crashing in. You hear that normal rush, that in and out, in and out. It's a constant cadence. It's nice. It's just there. And when you're fishing like we are out here in the panhandle, you're not normally on top of everybody. Not a bunch of people are near you, so you're not hearing a bunch of people talking, screaming. The guy 100 yards down with his boom box playing the music for everybody, for all of us to hear. And you all know what I'm talking about. You've been there. Yeah, you go out for your beach time and somebody's like, "Hey, I think you should all hear the music of my world. Here, enjoy." Ah, yeah. But that piece, the birds, they're flying by, they're doing their thing. There's a lot of serenity and peace there at the water. Uh, from other trips for me, I always think of the water, lakes, ponds, something about those places too. They are calming. When I instantly think of another one, I think of where up in Maine, there's an place called, it's up in the Lower Enchanted Township. My family, we've called it Bulldog Pond. I think it's called Lower Enchanted Pond. My father's ashes are scattered there, and his placards to the southeast corner on a giant rock. But I remember that pond, obviously for fishing with my dad and my grandfather in Maine. But I remember going back after my dad died many years later. I was an adult then. My aunt dropped me off the top of the hill and let me walk down. She wasn't going to go with me that time. The trail was overgrown, so it wasn't exactly a fun walk, and she was not in the mood for it. And I was in the middle of a lot of turmoil in my life at that time. There was just a ton going on. It was just all bad. I got down to the lake, kind of did my sit down with my dad's spot, with his little placard, shined it up and talked to him a little bit. And a lot of the frustration, anxiety, and pain I was going through at the time kind of just went away a little. The wind on the water, there was no animals, there was no boat traffic, there was no planes. It was just the Maine wilderness. And if you've ever been to Maine and understand, you'll know what I'm talking about. That weird silence, not the stilling. Hey, some bears there for you, but just you're out in nature silence. And the water made it better. So there's something to be said about that, and definitely worth those pieces. Fishing, wow, at those places too, man, that would have been a double. I should have brought a rod down there and thrown a line, but I didn't until many years later. I took my family back there with my aunt, and we did the boat trip with my cousin. We all went and enjoyed the pond for the day. I went fishing, but it was that was nice. Yeah. So there was serenity that really came with that, and I felt better both times after leaving there. So the beach, the ponds, whatever it is, get out there with the water. Getting back into the groove of fishing is especially after a break. You guys have known, obviously, you've seen a lot of the stuff. My episodes have come out every couple weeks. I slowed them down a little bit. I wasn't able to get out and fish as much as I wanted to. I missed out on a couple of tournaments, especially the Fish Bites tournament, which I was really sad about. Uh, both of them, I was just nothing was lining up for me for that time. But getting back in after being out of it is a challenge. Relearning your gear, re-getting everything set back up. It's yeah, it's muscle memory, but man, the rust kicks in real quick into your body when you're forgetting stuff. I got back in. I remember I snapped off a couple of rigs. I accidentally left the bail closed. That was a good one. Um, I had a guide eye of all things break on me, and I didn't realize it because I didn't pre-inspect my gear. I didn't pre-op it. One of my reels that I was purposely beating up to see how far I could, how much damage it could take before I needed to replace it, which is my PC Fun Flame. I left the drag all the way on, and when you leave the drag all the way on for a few months, it'll create an interesting little problem for you. So I had to break it apart and find where I left a wear in there, and I created a problem for myself. Fixed it very quickly and very easily, and the reel's just fine now. No issues. But it was a reminder, hey, when you put your gear away, don't forget, loosen your drag up. You don't need that flat spot. You still need the drag to do its job. Thankfully, I did lube all my gear beforehand. It wasn't corroded. We do have a lot of that fun stuff here in Florida with humidity changes, so I took care of my gear for that respect. But finding that some of my line has been neglected, when it was sitting there, I needed to clean up a little bit. I had to retie a bunch of rigs on because I had them sitting there. They were attached. The hooks had rusted out, and yeah, those were completely done. So had to retie rigs. Had to grab some of my other rigs from some of the makers. DS Custom had a bunch. They sent me some, so I threw a couple of those on. A couple of Brunos. And I think a couple of green Get'ems from Cliff. I just threw them all right back on and got back in the game. So it was it's fun to remember all those things. So if you're not really if you've been off for a while, before you go out, give yourself a couple of hours prior to going to where you're going to go and pre-op your gear. Make sure you have everything done, everything good, because something happened. That was there. Your gear might not be what it is. Don't forget to take a look at regulations. Fish Rules is my favorite. I've talked about that app numerous times. How many times? I think on every episode, and I've definitely mentioned it several times during the show with Mike on the Panhandle Fishing Report. Is you got to know the regs. None had changed for me. A couple different things to pay attention to. I knew were coming up, but nothing that was going to affect me at the surf. So on that one, and then going to my old spots, I realized I had almost forgotten how much the beach can change in a matter of weeks, and it had been months for me. So my normal honey spots are that I have marked on my phone weren't there. The bar had changed. Some of the structure had disappeared under the sand. Some of the breaks had completely changed. The craziest one was where a ginormous hole was covered up about a year ago. The surf had rebuilt it, and it was back to being another hole of just stacked with fish. Hard to believe, but hey, nature does that. So it was, yeah, I had to go back out and kind of go for walks. I had to go from where I thought I was going to be, and ended up being, oh, okay, I got to keep going. So it was all about rehunting and finding new things in. So those pieces right there were like the first, oh crap, here we go. And then the other piece of that too was I set an expectation for myself that, hey, I'm just going to kick back in. I'll probably get a limit and call it a day. And you guys have heard me talk about it before. I don't really care about catching limits. I actually, if I'm catching fish to take home, I want one or two. I just want what I'm going to be eating, and maybe my wife, if she's going to, she's got to be in a specific mood for palm. So, I'll keep a couple fish and call it a day. I have no real want, need, or desire to catch six fish. If you do, hey, good on you. Whatever. I just don't want the limit. So, but I was like, "Yeah, everybody's been catching. I'm probably going to snag a whole limit real quick and six fish. I bet it'll be a quick day." And yeah, no, I didn't catch anything that first time out. I was like, "Oh crap, I suck." Second time out, oh man, I'm having a hard time. Caught some cats. Third time, caught a four or five different species and a baby pomp. And then another time I went out, was with lures. Got strikes, but no hits or no. I did catch a bluefish on that one actually. So yeah, I caught some fish. But I did manage my expectations. I went out there thinking I'm, King Pooh, I got this. I know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna crush it. And I was really off. So, I needed to rewind and remember, all right, the expectation is to get my gear, let me get my casting down, let me get my accuracy back, let me find where the fish are, let me go back to the basics. So in doing that, it really helped getting my expectations back to, "Oh, okay, I'm having fun. I'm not out here to impress anybody. I'm not out here. You guys aren't listening to this show because I catch a ton of fish. You guys are listening because of the knowledge that the guests bring and some of the, funny stuff that I bring. Hopefully, I bring you something helpful." So, uh, I didn't have anything to really compete with. I was just out there for me, and I had to remember that. And I do recommend that for you when you're out there fishing. You're fishing for whatever it is. But I personally say, don't fish for the gram. Fish for you. Fish for what you want. Now, if the gram and the Insta and Facebook and all that stuff, that's important to you. Okay, that's important to you. That's what you're there for. All right, cool. Uh, just find what's your thing and do it for you. Well, staying present and mindful while you're fishing is kind of it goes back to what we opened with, living in the moment and being just there on the water, being there for you, being there where you want to be to get your head clear. Don't lose sight of that when you're out fishing. It's easy to, I guess, especially when you're doing it for other, you're going for the social media run or hell, uh, anything else other than freedom and relaxation. It's you got to stay present with that. Just remember, sometimes it's okay to just throw the foot 3 or 4 lines in the water, put the chair down, sit there, and just stare and just let it be. Maybe you don't need to do a bait check every 20 minutes. Maybe you don't need to go running up and down and find sand fleas. Maybe you don't need to worry about the 100 different things. Maybe the line's just fine the way it is, and well, you're going to soak up a little bit of sun. Uh, yeah, that works actually. I have done that, and I will say with my fish bites, it's kind of nice. I know I can cast it out there, and I don't need to change it every 20. I know I can leave a piece of fish bites on most times 45 to an hour. Depends on if it's been picked apart, but sometimes you can just throw that stuff out there, let it sit, and just like, all right, let me soak in a little bit of me. I'm fishing, I'm relaxing. Let me just breathe for a minute. Let me just enjoy that. So that's the other little anecdote I'd throw in there. Is just stay present, get yourself where you want to be mentally and emotionally, and you're on the beach to do that. So go for it. Enjoy that. It's been really fun. However, watching the limited times that I've been on and with Panhandle Surf Fishing, the Facebook group, and one of the admins for, it's been a lot of fun seeing people catch. And we had a great run tourist season this year for spring and summer. We were stacked up, and yeah, a lot of the locals were upset about it. Sure, that goes with every year. It's the exact same thing every year. We talk about the tourists, spring break. Oh, they're all here. Yeah, they're here for the same reason you are on the beach. They're out there to enjoy themselves, get some relaxation in, and hey, there's a bunch of them fishing. That's their happy, and you know what? We're both doing the same thing. It was really cool to see a lot of the great side of the stories. First time anglers catching their first fish out here, local fishermen meeting up with people from out of town, that went to Walmart, got the crap gear, and hey, here, try this gear. Here's some bait. Here's this. All right, this is what I do, and then you see them catch. That was some of my absolute favorite things, and we had a pretty good year. It wasn't a 2020 year, but on the same note, we're never going to have a 2021 year again. The fish had a full year break with the plague that went around in the beaches and everything got closed. So the fish had a full year of spawning with no stress. So we'll never have that again unless rules change, but we're not getting into that. So it was really cool, and I really enjoyed seeing people sharing the success and do that. So I was very happy. And then I got a couple of messages while we were off, people talking about their fishing as they came through and catching. It was it's so cool, man. I mean, it's absolutely love seeing that. So don't forget, take people fishing and all that, and help them become, help them catch a fish. You never know, that could be the one thing that makes their life better, and you just were a nice little cog in that wheel. Yeah, take that as a win. Well, I've been running my mouth now for a few minutes, so let's go ahead and recap and get it done here so I can get you on with your life. These episodes are not going to be long ones. They never will. I'll always try to keep them real short and sweet and to the point. But my break, like I said, it was for me and my family and for me to continue on with this show. If I hadn't done it, I don't know, man. I don't know if I really wanted to keep going. I was so burned out with people's negativity in life and seeing everything. It got to me. It shouldn't have, but it did. And I was just sick of it. None of it was directed at me, which is the funniest part. None of it was aimed at me. It was just life. It was damn. Everybody take a minute, breathe, and leave everyone else alone. For the love of God, just chill. Go fish. Who cares about the other stuff? Um, Again, go fish and enjoy yourself. Get that mental break in. Enjoy the water. Enjoy those pieces. If you're coming down here on vacation, enjoy it. Don't worry about the noise. Have fun. If you need help, by all means, send messages. Jump in. If you're in the Panhandle region, take a look at Panhandle Surf Fishing. It's a great group. We share a ton of stuff. We don't deal with a bunch of shenanigans. And if we see people bullying others or they're pulling some crap of like, oh, why would you post that? They're instantly deleted or blocked. Any of that, we just don't deal with it. We're one of those weird groups that are as we've been told, we're too soft and care about too many people's feelings. Yeah, we do, and that ain't gonna change ever. If you think you can change our mind, you can't. Sorry, not sorry. uh Keep sending your stuff into me too. I'd love it. By all means, fire it away. I'd love to hear about what your success stories have been. Show me about your gear, what's been cool, what's new, what you've enjoyed. If I can answer questions for you, I will. If I can't, I will send to you in the direction I absolutely know. It's like, hey, you're going to be good here. Talk to this person. Take a look at this. I'll always try to send you in the right one because that's important that you continue to win. Coming up, we've got some pretty cool episodes. One of them is, I think, next month is when it drops. We've got a lot of, let's see here. We're going to be talking with Matt Tours. He is part of the long casting crew. We've got an international episode that covers Sweden and South Africa, which is really, that was a hell of an episode to record. Like, I was like, damn, this is cool. Nick from Breakaway Tackle in Texas actually talked about this before in his episode. So if you ever want to go back and listen to his, he's got a little bit of cool stuff to say about it. But the Pybus family, it's a father son episode. We're going to have a lot in that. We got some shark fishing that we're going to talk to them. Travis Lucas, you're going to hear about his story. That one's pretty cool. Vince Williams is coming on. I know I'm saying their names and not their show because, well, you're going to have to find out more about it later. But Vince's episode, that one's going to be cool, man. The guy does bow fishing. And I know you're like, oh, what the hell's that got to do with surf fishing? It doesn't. I'll tell you that right now. It has nothing to do with surf fishing. However, it's fishing, and it was pretty damn cool to record, man. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. So you got a bunch of that coming up. We got fish bites. I've got them coming up. We've got hell, I got a bunch of things in to include a Naked and Afraid winner. That's right. She did it. She did a hell of a job. Mallory, she's going to come on the show. I'm looking forward to that. We've been trying to work that one out, and my schedule screwed me up, so I've messed that up a bunch. But anyway, we got those ones coming, so keep your ears open. We got a lot of fun ones there. I'm going to do a bunch of other episodes for myself. You're going to have me talking. Like I said, I'm going to talk gear, products, stuff like that. Maybe we'll just dig in and we'll see where we can get with it. I think it'll be fun. I really need to get back into that side of the house. I've missed out on that. I've really missed writing and talking to you about that stuff. And you know that it's just cool. As always, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. You are what makes Finding Demo Surf Fishing happen. You're the ones that let me continue on to build this, to share people's stories. Y'all are the ones that are helping me become a better angler while also helping everyone else as well, because we're all sharing knowledge here. We're all trying to make things a little bit better. So keep doing that and keep sticking around. And I look forward to having more episodes with you and going there. If you want to be on the show, by all means, send me a message. It's, you have something to share. I've said that so many times to people. You have knowledge to share. You maybe not think you do, but you do. And also, it's kind of cool to get your story out. Share your story, share your life. I mean, it's one thing you'll have the leftover to be able to share down to your family, your grandkids, whatever. They get to hear your story later on, maybe. It's historical. Keep that stuff going because it's fun. Take care of yourselves. Keep doing the good things you are and know that, hey, I'm championing for you. You're doing good things. It may not be easy right now, but it'll get better. So you've been listening to Finding Demo Surf Fishing. I'm out.